Right, Gavin. So just those few licks that we did there, the kind of Stevie Ray Vaughan style ones. So first of all, we did Scuttle Button. So I'm just going to play that slow a couple of times. So we've got the bend. So first of all, when you're playing this with a metronome, the riff itself, the first note happens half a beat after the one. So as you're going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. The one after that, that's where you're coming in. Okay. So we're coming up from second to fourth on the G string. Open B, open. Let me get down a bit. Okay, so we're coming up fourth to the fourth on the G string. Open B, open E, back to the open B, slide for a longer note up here on the fifth fret. Then you hit the open E. Now that open E that you hit after that slide from 3 to 5 on the second fret, that's on the beat. So that's kind of a little benchmark when you're playing with the metronome, just to make sure that one coincides with one of the strong beats. So we've got back down, pull off, and then this is the tough bit. So we've got that little embellishment there. So that slide happens pretty much straight away. It's kind of like, in trad you'd call it a grace note, that type of thing. So picking wise, you think about what you're coming at it from first. So we've got, I'm going up on that one, sliding back and doing the pull off as well. So I've got a bit of time between that pick and this one where I hit the G string. So up on that one, down on the D string, and then up. I just found that for me, what's the quickest way I can get from the D string to the E string, and I found that going counterintuitively enough down, up. So if I can just kind of work that into it, that's probably the best way. So one more time, slow. Oh yeah, and this is a bit counterintuitive for me, but he's coming up on those ones in this chord here. Kind of another way of doing the so-called Jimi Hendrix chord, E7 sharp 9. Okay, so I'm holding both of these down here, but really you don't really need the fifth all that much if you wanted to just mute it with the middle finger, or just as I'm doing, hold both of them down with the middle finger. And then third fret on the first two strings. Okay, so the other couple of licks then, we've got this, we'll just go for A minor, okay? So this first one, you're kind of coming at it from the blues box, but a little bit above that, right? So you've got, so that one, right? So you've got your fourth, fifth, seventh, eighth. This is the sharp sixth. So we've got, there's the fifth. There's that minor sixth that you generally want to avoid when you're playing blues. It tends not to sound very appropriate. Sharp sixth. Okay, so we've got this little diminished arpeggio here. So that's all it is. Simple enough. So with this one, it's really all about just finding where you are. So you're kind of at the blues box, third position pentatonic, and then you're coming a fret above that on the G string. So normally the G string, you're kind of, it's the same thing but a fret down. So we're actually going up here to the sharp sixth and try to get a little, just that little hint of a bend in there as well. Okay, the next one was we'll go. So we're just coming in at the bottom of the first position, bending from 7 to 8. So normally you kind of go, that'd be the kind of typical thing to do, but you actually got this octave jump down here. So okay, and finally, well, so one more and then the other little thing we're going to talk about as well. So we've got this. So got a bottom to top on the D string, back down to the perfect fifth. Then we've got this pick, hammer, pull on the fourth to flat fifth, major third, down to the bottom, and then up the octave. And you really want to get kind of percussive about that one. So, you know, kind of just put a bit of aggression into it. So then the other thing was that sort of screaming bend that isn't technically a unison bend, but it kind of works off the same principles of two notes kind of interfering with each other. So where this tends to work is your 3 to 4 bend. So that'll be. So, and of course as well your 4 to 5 bend. Jesus, that's sharp. Okay, so what you're doing is basically bending a string is normal, but you're kind of just, I suppose, gently catching the one above it as well. So you could use your fretting finger if you want, or you could use the one behind here as well. So just to kind of, you don't want a full note. You don't want both this. That's your main note, and that should be much louder than the other one. The other one is just there to interfere. It's not there to be a note itself, if you know what I mean. So it's just kind of a balancing act of getting that other note in there, and it almost doesn't really matter what it is. I mean, as long as you've got those two notes together when they're distorted, you're going to get that kind of screaming texture. But just catching it, but only so much, so that it's not as prominent as the actual note you're bending. Alright, so have a go with those anyway, and see how fast you can get Scuttlebutton. I'm kind of nearly there now with it myself, but it's ridiculously fast. So it's simple, but you know, it's just the speed of it. But yeah, get it on the metronome, see what you can do with it. Alright, we'll talk to you next time.